morning, everybody. So I look like crap right now, but I want to make a really quick video on why my next video is taking so long. I have a video that is ready to post, except it's missing some final editing, so it's not quite ready to post, I guess. The reason I hadn't posted it is because my grandmother had died, and it's the first person that I've ever been close to that had died. So it's been really rough on me, but I'm obviously, hanging in there. And I was just sitting on the couch thinking how every time I try to do something, whether it's get a job, make a new video for you guys, anything that can be considered life-changing or a step in the right direction or trying to organize my life in some way, it seems like every time that I try to do that, there's always like a roadblock, like something happens. Like when we moved to Miami, our car broke down on the way down there, and then we got into the apartment and it had mold, and then, like everything that I've ever tried to do that would be considered an improvement to my life in some way seems to have been a very difficult journey, even my journey to Veda. So with that being said, I'm sitting here thinking like, well, over the last couple years, the majority of my life, I've actually thought like, damn, like I have really bad luck. Like, how come every time I try to do something good or positive or happy in my life, the world just likes to crush me? Like, how come this happens to me? And I spent a lot of time thinking like it was karma, I'm just a bad person, like I'm too mean to people, I don't deserve it, or I just have bad luck, or someone's cursed me. So I've spent a lot of time thinking that. And for some reason, as I'm sitting here this morning thinking about how I've taken a couple weeks off from my life in general to focus, or I guess like grieve, to focus on recovering from that situation. I'm sitting here thinking like, why does this keep happening? And then I realized that maybe that's the point. Like, why would life ever be easy for anyone? And I realize that it is for some people. But it's kind of a negative, I think, because if everything that happens in your life comes easy, then what's the point? Like, if everything just comes so easy to you, then I feel like life would tend to get very boring, and that those people would lack a certain depth of character because they would have never really struggled for anything. And I think that would make a shitty person in general. I'm not talking about just like financially, but like if you've never truly struggled for anything or spent the day just struggling, like I have a lot of issues, like with my PCOS and my endometriosis and my borderline personality disorder and my depression and my anxiety. And, now I have this chronic pain on top of it. And, like I have so many different things going on, and I try to root them all back to just like stress in general. But, sorry, my nose itches so bad. I have no idea why. It's allergies, man. Summer and spring is upon us. But, yeah, I'm just kind of thinking, I guess, and I guess I should just kind of be more thankful. Even though life's been hard to get from point A to point B, when I finally do reach that goal, it's been a journey, and there are some things that are harder, like doing weekly videos for you guys. I feel like every time I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm going to do these videos. This is what I want to do. And, I want to talk to these people. I want to share my life story. I want to help people. And then as soon as I do it, something happens. And, like, it pushes me off on this, like, alternate schedule to where I'm like, okay, it's been 3 weeks. It's been 4 weeks. Like, I can't get these videos out. I'm like, and then I get depressed. And then, like, it's just a cycle. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, why do I give up? Kind of. Like, when something like this happens and it becomes difficult, I just let myself sink into that, like that depression or that obstacle. Like, I just kind of give up almost. Like, maybe not fully, because I do still make my videos, but for a while. Like, and I understand that the grieving process and death kind of is a different circumstance, but I feel like I maybe let myself sink into that grief a little bit for too long. Like, I stopped going to school, so I'm really behind. Luckily, they're letting me make it up, obviously, because it is like a bereavement thing. But I feel like I've done that a lot with my life. Is every time that I've been faced with an obstacle, I don't let it break me, but I do let it wear me down for a while. I eventually get back up, and I do eventually do what I need to do. Like, I don't let my obstacles in life break me down. I don't give up, but I do let it wear me down for a while. I do get depressed over it. I do, let it bother me. And so as I was saying, like, I'm just sitting here thinking, and I'm just thinking, maybe now's the time to not let that happen. Like, the next time that I try to do something and it's hard, or I feel like life has thrown me another curveball, and a lot of times I feel like life's telling me you can't do this. My biggest example would be moving to Miami, and I just gave up. I was like, okay, I'm not meant to be here, and I moved back, and I do regret that decision. And I'm just thinking, what if I would have given up when life was difficult? Would I have Veda? What if I would have given up the first time? What if I would have given up after the first IUI or the second IUI? It took me years to get her, but I never gave up. But I did let the journey get to me. It was hard. And and obviously I'm not saying, suck it up and never show emotion, obviously, but there's been a lot of times in my life where I have just completely given up. Like, with my cricket, I have a cricket, and I've had it for years now, and I know that they're super popular now, but I actually had my own business for a while. It was called Little Spectre Emporium, and it was very nerdy, and it was like nerdy clothes for nerdy kids is kind of what it was. And a lot of boutique shops on Facebook focus on like the really like girly princessy stuff, and I was like, I want to do like some nerdy stuff. Like, I want to do like some video games, Star Wars. Like, I want to do clothing for kids, for people like me, so like band tees and like all this other cool stuff. And like, I started doing it, and then I had gotten like a bad batch of vinyl, and it was not sticking to the clothing, and I gave up. I deleted my business. I refunded anybody who ever bought anything from me, even if they didn't have problems. I gave them all their money back, and I completely gave up, and I haven't touched a cricket in like 7-8 months. And that's kind of what I do, and it does focus a lot. It does focus back around to borderline personality disorder, because that I will talk about, and I know I've said that a lot, but I will talk about it, but I promise I really will. But that's one of the key traits with borderline, is that everything is either all white or all black. Everything is either the best thing in the world or it's absolutely horrible. So the moment that I receive a slight inconvenience, or even a major inconvenience, I just give up. And I'm just thinking of, like, where would I be in life if I hadn't? Like, I was in school for a while, and I would be fully graduated by now if I hadn't have given up. I was a psychology major, and that just hurt, And now, obviously, I'm 2 semesters into school, and I'm not giving up, but it's been really hard, because there's been lots of times where I have wanted to give up, and I guess I'd say a lot of that is due to my support system that I haven't. But I'm just sitting here thinking, man, what if I don't, What if the next time I don't give up? So I guess that's going to be kind of my little journey, is the next time that I'm faced with an inconvenience of some sort, that I'm just not going to give up. And it's always hard, because you're like, I love you. Like, the next time that I am inconvenienced, or life decides to throw me a curveball and tell me, no, you're not doing this, what if I didn't let it get to me? What if I didn't quit? And it's hard, because how do you make that decision? When do you know when to quit? You know, like if you want something bad enough, do you quit? I, for a very long time, have wanted, ever since I lived in Daytona, I've wanted to move back. And I just keep making excuses. And we moved to Miami, and that was great, but it wasn't Daytona. Like, Daytona is my home. It's my heart. It's where I belong. I have friends there, and that's where I need to be. That's where I want to raise my family. And I keep making excuses. And I'm just thinking, you know, what if I stop making excuses? And with this attitude, I have started a new job, and it's going to be very difficult because it's obviously I'm doing a different shift than my husband, so I won't see him a lot, and it's going to be hard being away from Veda for 8 to 12 hours a day. But the money's good, and you know, we kind of have a goal now of what we want to do and where life wants to take us, and I'm hoping that I can come back to this video and listen to myself, tell myself to not give up, that it's hard, life's hard, and there's going to be hard moments, and there's going to be things in your life that tell you no. There's going to be moments where you feel like life is telling you no, or where you feel maybe this isn't meant to be, but the thing is that you are in charge of your life, and you determine what your life does, what you do with your life. You determine that. And if you just give up, you'll never really know your full potential. So I'm hoping that one day I can look back on this video and listen to me telling myself not to give up, because one day it will be worth it. And I obviously have living proof of that. So yeah, so there's my little motivational morning, and I hope that I'm able to motivate some people out there that's going through a hard time, whether it be a hard time mentally, physically, emotionally, with a job, with school, or just having a tough time getting out of bed in the morning. I hope that I'm able to motivate you to just not give up. Obviously, it's okay to grieve, and it's okay to feel those emotions, and it's okay to have that time for yourself and your mental health, but don't let it stop you from reaching your goal. Take the time that you need, but don't take too long. I'll see you guys later.